All right. Let's see. How is everybody? Whoop. And is it all good? It looks like it's all good. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Lounge. So, the first thing I'd like to say right away is that I'm basically testing things. Obviously, the first episode, which was yesterday, had a interesting amount of technical difficulties, which was, nice that I had everybody in here helping me out, figuring out the problems I was having. So I'm basically trying to experiment with the background music again. So it's just supposed to be like kind of background ambient music, and also it's royalty free, so I shouldn't get any kind of copy strike or anything with it, which would be really nice because I kind of like the idea of kind of like, like when you're, in a lounge or a coffee shop or whatever, and you're conversing with people, there's some like light music in the background, and I thought that'd be kind of a nice little aesthetic. And so I would love if you guys can let me know if the music is either too loud or too low. That'd be great to know. So, but no worries, it's not a huge deal. So it looks like what we have here is we have James P.O.Box, who came in almost 30 minutes early, which I'm thoroughly impressed by. So glad to have you in here, Mr. James P.O.Box. Clay Clay says macaroni and chill. Well, the thing is, Mr. Clay Clay, the humor that I got out of your joke yesterday was comparing your statement to the Macaroni Grill, which is a popular restaurant in California. I don't know if it's still that way, but it used to be a popular restaurant in California. And so when you said macaroni and chill, I thought it's so funny because I immediately thought of the Macaroni Grill. So that's why it says macaroni chill instead of and chill, to make it more kind of funny to me to represent that restaurant in California. So, but I can understand why you're a little frustrated because I didn't get it exactly right. I know, I get it. It's fine. It'll be fine. Dragon's Lair Gaming is saying that if I like my macaroni chilled, then it's fine. And I would definitely say you're right. I do actually like a nice chili cold macaroni salad. If you guys have probably had that, I would assume so. Every stereotypical barbecue you would go out to probably has macaroni salad, and it is quite delicious. Can't eat it with onions, though. That's actually a common problem that I run into at my workplace, is I'm actually allergic to onions. Very specific kinds of onions, though. I'm allergic to white onions, red onions, and like Maui onions, I guess. Anything that's like a bulbous onion, I'm usually allergic to. But I can have things like garlic, leeks, green onions. Those things don't really bother me, but it's the bulbous onions that really get me. So when I have something like a macaroni salad, I usually make it without onions so that way I don't get sick. Dragon's Eye Gaming also says, does sauerkraut belong on hot dogs? Absolutely. I love sauerkraut. It's delicious. Seriously. It's very good. I, as a cook, I am very, I'm not picky about food at all. There's only a couple things I really don't like. I would say, I always have to distinguish this with people when it comes to cooking, is the only thing I can't stand, there's only one kind of food that I find totally disgusting. And that would be basically anything in the kidney bean family. So, like, that kind of, like, half circular bean shape? Any bean that is kind of like that, I find disgusting. So, like, baked beans, refried beans, I don't know, pinto beans, like, kidney beans, any kind of bean that is in that family I find disgusting. However, because people will be like, oh, you don't like, what's it called? they basically say like, oh, you don't like this one particular family of bean. I can't think of the name of it at the second. But what's funny is that family of beans that I can't remember the name of actually does have beans in it that I do like. It's also like garbanzo beans. I actually love garbanzo beans. I like peas. I like green beans. So, I mean, it's kind of like... Garbanzo beans are kind of special to me because I think they have a good texture, a good flavor, and you can use them in a lot of different ways. So I actually like garbanzo beans, but it's like kidney beans and things like that I can't stand. I also like lima beans, so I think lima beans are good too. Let's see. Cobalt Steel says, hey, what's up, Cobalt Steel? Good to see you. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, love what you are doing. I really don't hear any music yet. Okay, so that means I need to turn it up. And thank you for saying something. I had the problem yesterday where the music was way too loud and nobody could hear me. So I basically had to start with the music down at the bottom. And I'm going to slowly raise it for each time somebody says that it's not loud enough and you can't hear it. So it's just kind of just supposed to be background ambient music while listening to what I'm saying. So I can hear it clearly. That's the problem that I have with it. I actually can't hear the sound that you guys are hearing. I can hear the music clearly because it's coming through my headphones and all that. But I don't really have a way that I'm aware of to be able to test how loud the sound is coming from your guys' side. So when somebody tells me that the sound is not right or something, that's really helpful. So just let me know. Sam Dunn is saying hi. Hello, Sam Dunn. Glad to have you in here. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, a man after my own heart, sauerkraut and mustard on good bratwurst. Absolutely. Stone ground mustard is awesome. The spicier, the better. I'm also a very big fan of hot and spicy mustard. I also see my sister in the chat log. Good to see you, sis. Glad to have you in here. Little Miss Smeeboo, that's my sissy. Glad to have you in here. So, also, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to make the same kind of introduction that I did yesterday for the previous lounge stream, which was, this is something new I'm trying out. It's kind of like a podcast a little bit, kind of, sort of, where I found that I came up with it yesterday because, oh, she's waving at me. Hi, sis. Good to see you. So yesterday I was really tired and exhausted, and I didn't really want to play a game, but I wanted to hang out with everybody. So I came up with this as an idea. Yesterday was the test version of it, and it had some flaws, and we got our way through it, which was great. And now I'm kind of trying to tune it a bit better, make it just a little more like it's kind of like a staple thing. As you guys noticed, I put episode 1 in the first one. This one's episode 2. And I'm just going to kind of keep experimenting with it. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be something where... Today's a special case. Like, I did the first one yesterday, I'm doing the first one today, and the reason why is because I'm experimenting, trying to get the formula down. It needs more pupper, says Smeeboo. Well, he's around here somewhere. I think he's napping right now. He might be in my bedroom napping it off, so... you know, if he comes in and is like, hey, what are you up to? I might put him on camera for you guys. So it could be like the lounge is I get to play with my pup, and maybe you guys will come in and I'll just spend an hour playing with my puppy on stream or something. Who knows? No guarantees on that. I can't guarantee that I can spend an hour playing with my pupper. So we'll see. But yeah, I thought it would be a little bit better. Lounge Episode 2, says Dragon Slayer Gaming. Test version 2.0, bigger, badder, and spicier. There you go. Yeah, so I wanted to do 2 in a row, because I'm experimenting. And, but when I get a little more comfortable with it, I'll be interchanging it between days. You know, like maybe some Oblivion on one day, and then another game on a different day, and then one of these lounge streams. If I get really comfortable with it, because I'm trying to make the lounge series like something that I can get more comfortable with doing in a more casual setting. And if I get comfortable with that, I might find myself doing something like a game stream and a lounge stream on a single day. So that's something I want to work towards. But in order for me to do that, I have to get more comfortable with, setting everything up and finding something that's just more comfortable for you guys, but also comfortable for me as well, and more able for me to organize it. So, but I did have a lot of fun doing this yesterday, which is why I wanted to immediately come back in and do more with it. So, my sis says dogs sell. Yes, it's true. I have definitely. It's really interesting. I did actually see, what was it? There was quite some time ago, I can't remember what I was watching, but it was a video that was talking about finding ways to artificially increase viewership. And the thing is that when I was watching it, I found the knowledge fascinating, but not something I wanted to manipulate. In the sense that I didn't want to make it, like, I didn't want it to be a crutch. And the way that the video was describing those things, it sounded like, oh, this is a crutch for people who are desperately trying to increase their numbers and their viewership by doing something that sells easier to a larger audience. And one of those methods that they actually talked about was having animals in your videos, which is, everybody can, you see a cute, adorable animal in a thumbnail, and you're going to have a high probability of people clicking on your video in the sense that they want to find comfort in watching adorable animals. It's kind of like the thing of where, like, you go into, like, what they call, like, a puppy pit, which is, like, a little closed-off area where they just kind of have, like, puppies and kittens and adorable, cute animals, and you just kind of lay in the little pit, and the puppies surround you and give you affection. And the overall feeling you get from doing that is, it's comforting, it's relaxing, it puts you in a better mood, in a better place, and people do actually seek that kind of stuff online, when they want to watch a video of a cute animal doing something cute. And they explain that that's basically a great way to artificially increase your audience. And the thing is that that's cool and all. Like, but a lot of those ways of artificially increasing your views and your audience and things like that are very short term. They don't last very long. Because, the only way that you can continuously get great numbers and things like that from that kind of setup is you have to be willing to constantly do it, and you have to constantly be able to... I mean, I guess it's kind of true with any kind of content. You kind of have to constantly keep up with it and find that niche area that works best for you, and then, do it over and over again, and hopefully do something new each time. And, like, that's cool and all. Like, I mean, I might do a couple of videos. I've thought about doing some videos with my dog, but I just didn't want that to be, like, a major theme. I didn't want this to turn into an animal channel, or just, like, trying to get those quick and easy, fast views or anything like that. I wanted to do the things that I want to do. And if I feel like that I want to do something special involving my dog, then, maybe I'll brainstorm on something like that. I've definitely thought about it, but it's not this major focus for what I'm trying to do. Do you have your cam on autofocus? I believe so. I actually, the camera that I have, this is actually a very nice camera. I have read multiple different, reviews about the camera that I own. This current camera that I have, this is my best camera, and, I originally read, a major review that kind of, went down all of the features that it was capable of doing, and gave it a good rating, and then I went and, went through basically a buyer's commentary section where all the people were commenting who had bought it and experimented with it and then used it. and it got very high reviews. And so I bought this camera. Then what happened was later down the line, like I'm talking about quite some time ago, after I've been using this camera for a while, I was really curious and I started looking into higher quality cameras. I basically went online and was reading a collection of different reviews for high quality cameras. And what I was surprised to find was that all the reviews that I read, they were basically people who had, they were paid reviewers, and they were experimenting with different kinds of cameras and equipment, and basically they were like, these are the best cameras for like so and so reasons or whatever. Like they would have like a subject, like, oh, if you're trying to record things out in the wild, this is the best camera for that. If you are trying to use a camera with the highest quality, this camera is ideal for that. If you're looking for a camera that, what have you, better battery life, what have you, different subjects. And what I was really surprised by was I read a bunch of different reviews that had different perspectives on different things. And however, I think I read like 3 or 4 different reviewers that were doing this. And this was way after I bought this camera. All of the reviewers that I was reading had this camera that I'm using listed as the best camera for the cheapest price. In the sense they all agreed that this camera had like the best quality, the best utility, the best multi-purpose usage at the lowest price possible. So, and that made me feel really good about the purchase decision that I made. So, this camera has some minor flaws to it that I've noticed over time, but I've yet to find a camera that has higher quality than this one for the price range that I got this at. Now, eventually I do want to get something nicer, but I have also recognized that I'm going to have to shell out more money in order to do that. But until then, I'm still very comfortable with what I have, and I've read countless of different reviews from different people all saying the same thing, which is, for the price range, this is one of the best cameras you can get. And I find comfort in that, I like that. It makes me feel like the money was well spent overall. People love animals, that's just basic human. Yep, it's true. That's why I don't mind, once in a while bringing my little pup on camera. Like, it's mostly if he comes up and says hello to me, like, while I'm recording, I'll try and get him on camera just because he's doing what he's doing. Let's see, Lettuce, he says, hey, Snookums, what's up, Lettuce? How you doing, big boy? Dragon Slayer Gaming says, I thought I saw the focus of your camera shift briefly towards the beginning when you were waving your hands around. Yeah, so, it kind of has, like, an autofocus for faces and things like that. And it has, like, this weird thing that I've noticed where it can focus on a picture, like artwork and writing and things like that, but it prioritizes faces. So if something like gets in the middle of a face, it'll like try and like focus its detail, but the face might go a little fuzzy or something, and then when you like take it away, it'll try and like refocus on the face. Because it has like, from what I remember hearing about this particular camera, it has technology that prioritizes faces over everything else. So it'll always try to focus on a face before it tries to focus on something else. Just driving home from work, says Lettuce. Well, you can hang out and chill, and if you can't necessarily watch, that's okay, because I've kind of accepted the idea that this is kind of like a podcast a little bit, and I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cool. So, like I said, I just experimenting with a new medium for the channel, thought it would be fun to just kind of chit-chat with you guys, and I like it. I like that feeling. So, I sadly was interrupted in the one I was doing yesterday by my internet connection cutting out, and didn't really have the opportunity to go out and go to my internet provider today. I might have to make a plan to do that this next coming week. I have the next 3 days are my work schedule for my paying bills job, and so I'll probably have, like normal, I usually take my Monday off and just relax, But what I normally do too is I always try to have enough energy to get some chores done on Monday, which is the day where I'm not trying to stream with you guys or make content or whatever. Um, so yeah, I might try on the basically next Monday to get another look into my internet provider. I might have to upgrade my internet, and I basically am going to do. I've been doing some evaluation of my bills, things like that. I always try to kind of manage. I try to manage my money as best as I can on a regular basis, because that's a big deal. As a person who wants to live the lifestyle that I'm currently living, it means that I prefer to only work 3 days a week. And that means that I have to be very careful with how I spend my money. And I have to be, I'll be honest, when I'm not spending my money on paying my bills, I'm usually trying to spend my money on improving the channel. And that's, buying better equipment, looking into different kinds of software, experimenting with different things which might cost me money here and there. And so that's kind of like where my priorities are. And I have to be able to manage my money all right to be able to pay all my bills and still have the right amount of money to focus into the channel. So upgrading my internet, I have accepted, might be something I have to do to finally move myself past the internet problems that you guys have been so obviously seeing me have to deal with. And so that means that I've had to kind of go over my expenses, kind of figure out where I can adjust some money that I've been spending in other places to kind of move over towards, utilizing that money for better internet or something like that. And I think that's going to be coming up in the near future, probably within the next week or two. I'm going to look into better, higher quality internet so that I can deliver better quality streams and video content to you guys. Looks like Michael Serta's here. Hey, Twinsy, how you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you come in and hang out with me, so really glad to have you here. And it looks like we also have Magic Historian. Hey, man, how's it going? He says, where's the goddamn macaroni and cheese? Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to blame Clay on this one. This is all Clayton's fault. The joke of my stream is based on a joke that Clayton made yesterday, so I guess you could call it clickbait. I'm sorry, Magic Historian. It's all clickbait. I just thought it was a really funny joke in yesterday's stream, and I had to steal it from Clayton and use it as my title, so that's why. Welcome to the Macaroni Chill, where there's no macaroni, but there is plenty of chill. Lettuce says, I know, right, Mike, some false fucking advertising up at this piece. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a clickbaiter. Oh, no! So much clickbait over a silly joke that somebody made. I know, I'm terrible. Historian says, I think we have reached boycott levels of falsitude on this channel. You got me. You caught me. You caught me red-handed. I'm bad to the bone. I apologize. Craft lives matter. Yeah, it's alright. I get it. So yeah, I'm just trying to try different things to make this channel a better place, because I really enjoy having you guys here, and I want to do this more. It's a lot of fun, and I kind of like have these great big ideas of where I'm trying to go with everything, and I'm slowly but surely accomplishing things, learning new things, trying new things, practicing things, and overall, I think things are working out. Like, really. That's not just me saying this. I'm constantly trying to make progress on everything that I'm doing with you guys, and I feel like every single day I'm making more and more progress. Dragon's Air Gaming says, I don't care what the title of the stream is, all I want is that sweet, sweet red facial hair of the spicy one. Yes, look at it. I wish I had like a little twirly mustache that I could like twirl around. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you've fallen for my evil schemes. Yes. Well, I do actually also, I mean, it might seem like I'm growing this out, and it is true, I am growing it out, but I'm growing it out with the intention of shaving it all back. So, I am planning to buy a new razor because the razor that I have currently, it's got a lot of problems with it. It's actually been pulling on my facial hair without shaving it off. And that basically says to me that the blade is dull. But also, even when the blade that I had for my shaver was relatively new, I was still having problems with it yanking on my facial hair. So I'm going about it at a new route. I have this plan. My dad thinks I'm crazy for wanting to do this, but I really want to learn. I want to learn how to shave with a straight razor. So my plan is to basically buy a straight razor and buy a full shaving kit and all that, and teach myself how to shave with a straight razor. So that's something I really want to do. I think it would be good in a lot of different ways, besides the fact that I feel like I'd be able to shave off my hair without having any problems with my hair being tugged on. But also, I think it's also good because if I'm ever in a situation, for whatever reason, where I would need to shave without electricity, then I can shave with a straight razor because you don't need electricity to do that. So, we'll see. Oh, it looks like Maz is coming in and hanging out with us. Good to see you, girl. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you got lots of rest yesterday. And I'm glad to have you here with us. I hope you're doing better today. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, you are doing well, Habs. Aw, thank you, Dragon Slayer. I really appreciate that. And Maz is laughing. Oh, God, what did I walk into? You're walking into the chill stream. Anything can happen here. Lettuce is saying, Habs is getting punished for stealing a Clayton joke. Yes, it's true. I should have known better. I should have known better than to take a Clayton joke. I should have known that I would be paying for it. And here I am, sure enough, paying for it with the people who come in and hang out with me that I so hold dear in my heart. And yet they hurt me so. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, that is not crazy at all. At least if you want to joke around with your friends, you can bring it out and tell them that they need a shave. Oh, yeah. There we go. Call me the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Really spook the hell out of them. Does that sound like a plan? But yeah. I just, I don't know. I'm having a great time with this channel. And I keep wanting to do things to make it better. And I know that I have a very long way to go, but it feels really cool when every single day that I'm working on trying to build this channel up, I legitimately feel like I'm making progress constantly. And I know that sometimes it might not be immediately apparent on your guys' end all the time, but I'm genuinely working hard on it, and I feel like I see progress from it every day with each different way that I go about it, which is really nice. It's kind of like that thing where, you know what? There was something I really wanted to talk about, and it's kind of like talking about this feels like it's working into that thing. So I watched a really interesting YouTube video today that really inspired me and made me feel like that my effort in working on this channel is definitely paying off with the right intentions and the right way of how I'm going about it. So, I don't know if you guys keep up with PewDiePie. I know it's like, oh, he watches PewDiePie. Everybody watches PewDiePie. PewDiePie's everywhere. He's got 100 million people watching him. Goodness gracious. Who's not ever talking about PewDiePie? Well, I actually really like the guy. I really do. I think he's got a level head. I think he's actually pretty intelligent based on all the things that I see him do and talk about. And I actually do legitimately, respect the guy for what he's done and the progress that he's made doing what he's doing. And I think he's just overall, a good guy to, learn from. And it's interesting because I like the fact that he has kind of established himself as a person who is constantly learning. That's something that I really enjoy about him, is that he's constantly learning things. And what's really cool is that he also is constantly sharing what he's learning as he goes along with what he's doing. And I really like that because I feel like that he is comfortable in sharing the knowledge that he has learned from and wants other people to have the opportunity to learn from that kind of knowledge. And I admire that about him. I really do. And today he released a video talking about an Indian actor who just recently passed away. And it was very sad because he basically watched a video of this Indian actor going up on stage at a college, an engineering college, and basically talk about the things that he had been through, because apparently this Indian actor was also originally an engineer before he became an actor. And he was basically talking, like, no joke, he was talking about the concept of, like, following your dreams, which is something that I take very seriously. I take that to heart very seriously. And the thing that's really cool is that it was also interesting listening to PewDiePie basically do a review on this guy's speech and talking about how he believes that he follows the same thing constantly, you know? But the deeper value to what they were talking about with following your dreams is that when you're following your dreams, you can't always be obsessed with the past or the future. And this Indian actor, who I deeply apologize, I can't remember the name. Oh, okay, my sister's leaving. See you later, sis. I also see that Dragon's Lair doesn't know PewDiePie, I assume. Dragon's Lair, I feel like you know PewDiePie, you just don't, watch his stuff or pay attention to what he's doing, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally okay. I'm not here to say anybody needs to watch what he's doing. I get a lot out of watching him, but I don't have an issue with people who are not interested in it. It's totally okay. Basically, this Indian actor that PewDiePie was talking about was saying how he had... The Indian actor was saying that he had achieved his goals and dreams, but he got to a point where he felt like it wasn't enough. Like he was he was reaching the top, but the top didn't feel like the actual top. He felt like he could keep going, keep striving further and farther forward. And he realized that even with the success that he had made, he was obsessed with constantly achieving more and more success. He was constantly striving for the future and trying to achieve something that was constantly out of his reach. Because even when he did achieve what he was reaching for, there was always more to achieve. And the actor had to kind of come to a realization upon experiencing that the time that he was happiest was when he was acting, like in a show or in a movie or whatever. And what was fascinating about that was that he realized that the reason why he was happiest when he was acting or doing whatever he was doing, it was because he was living in the moment. He wasn't living in the past, he wasn't living in the future, he was right there in the moment, experiencing everything for what it was. And he loved every second of it. It was like he was truly in the moment of living the dream, And he realized that he was living what he has spent all of his time acquiring. It was, living the journey of his dream is truly him achieving his goals. And I took that really seriously to heart. And it was really cool because watching PewDiePie also watch this guy and talk about him, you could see that he felt the same way. Like, he realized that being in the middle of achieving his dreams was truly, in fact, living the dream. And I really wholeheartedly believe in that. I really do. Like I say, follow your dreams. And the thing is that living the dream is following your dreams and being a part of it. Like, yes, I don't make tons of money. I only work 3 days a week, But the thing is that I plan how I spend my money to the things that I need to spend my money on in order to continue walking the path of my dreams, you know? And but the thing is that like every day I'm living the dream. Even when I'm like at work, you know, like when I work those 3 days to like make money, I'm still living the dream. I'm still, you know, I'm you know, if I was truly 100% unsatisfied with my job, I leave. That's my rule. I've actually talked about this a lot of times with coworkers and even my bosses and my managers when I'm like working a job, is if I'm unsatisfied with what I'm doing, I'm out. Like I'm out of there. Like you can't hold me there, you know? And the thing is too is that I'm always very aware that I can find another job. You know, I have no lack of faith in my skills whatsoever. You know, I'm not obviously going to go out and pick a job that I have no experience in or that I don't, you know, have the right knowledge in or anything like that, you know? And any job that I apply myself to, like I put in an application, and I only pick very specific jobs that I put in applications, but the thing is that I'm aware that I have a lot of skill in the jobs that I'm applying for. I'm not just randomly picking a job that I don't know what I'm doing in. And I'm aware that my skills are up to par for any job that I apply myself to. And because of that knowledge, I'm not afraid to lose a job. I'm not afraid to walk away from a job because I know that I can pick up a new one. And as long as I am picking a job where my skills are relevant and I know that I can excel at, I'm still living my dream because I'm still happy in the job that I'm doing. Because I know that I can be happy working to make money in a way that keeps myself satisfied, but also is being invested in something that truly keeps me happy, which as of right now is you guys in this channel. I'm following my dreams by doing this, and I can constantly feel comfort in working a job that I do 3 days out of the week and making enough money to survive and put money further into what is truly my passion, which is this. It inspired me. It was, you know, and like I said, it was like watching that video today really like gave me watching that video today made me realize that I'm doing the right thing for me, if you know what I'm saying. And if there was anything that I could truly be satisfied with sharing with you guys, it's that same feeling that I feel for myself, which is find the dream that you want to follow. And sometimes following that dream and living that dream might not necessarily seem like the ideal path to your future. Like, for example, like, I'm not a full-time creator, you know? I'm not rich and famous or anything like that, you know? But the thing is that I know that even doing the mundane tasks that I do in my everyday life are still paving the road for me living my dream. And therefore, I'm currently in the process, and I am factually living the dream that I want to live. And like I said, it doesn't have instantaneous results. But the thing is, it's like a person, you know what? Let me put it this way. A person that I hold very dear to my heart. I care about her very deeply. She's one of my best friends. And a long time ago, she presented to me basically a metaphor that I took very seriously. And she basically said, you know what? Let's say you're on a road trip, right? And you're trying to go from point A to point B, wherever that may be. You're on a road trip. In order to get to point A, from point A to point B, you have to go down a long road to get to where you're trying to go. And the thing is that when you get halfway across your path, do you stop and then turn back? No, because you didn't hit your destination. You need to keep going down the path. You can't just give up on it, no matter how mundane or how lame it might seem. Because the thing is that, like, you're not going to ever see instantaneous results. You're not going to see instantaneous wealth and fame and progress, and you know, you're not going to automatically have your ultimate career of all time. You have to buckle down, and you have to walk a path that might not seem ideal when you start. But the point is that as long as you don't give up and you keep working on it, no matter what your pace might be, someday you're going to get there, you know? And you're going to reach point B. You're going to not worry about point A at some point, and you're going to have achieved point B. But the point is that walking that path is living the dream. That's truly what it is. You need to live in the moment, and you need to live right now, and you need to live for yourself, and you need to do what's right for you. You know? I'm going to catch up on chat. I had a very long monologue there. So, I just really wanted to talk about that because I saw that video and it literally awed me. You know, like AWED, it awed me. I thought it was very spectacular and it really spoke to me. And I thought that would be kind of fun sharing that information in my own way. If you guys are really curious, like I did yesterday, I was talking about subjects and I posted the links in the Discord. I'll post a link to PewDiePie's video if you're really curious, because it's very inspiring. It's legitimately a very inspiring video where two people who walked the path of their dreams and ultimately achieved what they sought in life are talking about, you know, walking that humble path and achieving it over time because they were living the dream as they were walking the path. That's just something that, you know, really touches me. So, people are saying goodbye to my sissy. Maz says, Hobbs, if your facial hair gets really thick, I'm going to call you a leprechaun. Nobody touches Hobbs' Lucky Charms. That's right. The family jewels. The Lucky Charms. I told you guys that as a baby I was a strawberry blonde. So even though I have blonde hair, my facial hair is reproducing the red genetics that I've had all my life, so whatever. I even used to have a nickname in high school. People used to call me Calico, because blonde hair, white eyebrows, and red hair. So, Calico! That was a silly nickname I had back in the day. Maz says, you could get a part-time job for the other 4 days if you need a little more. No, that's... Like, I know, so when I started the current job that I have right now, I was actually working, like, pretty much every day. Like, I was working, like, 5 days a week, and I was also picking up shifts for people. And the purpose of that was a few different things. Because I'm now at a point where I don't want to give up the 4 days that I have off, because I'm actually very busy on my 4 days. Well, technically I'm busy on 3 days. I usually reserve Monday as my day of rest, where I basically just don't do anything. Because I need it. I need at least one solid day off. But I usually spend the other 3 days, mind you, these last couple of weeks were an exception, because I was helping my parents move. That was a major ordeal, but it needed to be done, and I care about my parents, and they needed me to help them with that, so I gave up that time in order to work with them and get them all set up to move. And now the move's done, and they're happy, and I'm happy, and I'm back to what I'm trying to do again. So, but my normal process is that I work 3 days to pay the bills, and I use Monday as my day of rest, where I basically do nothing. And then I use the other 3 days to basically work on the channel and spend time with you guys. And that's my ideal schedule. But when I started my current job, and this was actually similar to, like, I guess the job I had previous to it, but mind you, that was also, like, I went through that job before starting my channel as well. But when I started this job, I actually made it very clear to the people who hired me, and they were very kind about it, and they were very understanding, and I appreciate them for that. No qualms against how my current job is, like, I don't have any qualms with how they began to hire me and treated me, because they actually treated me very well through the majority of this. And basically what I established to them was that I have this channel. I'm trying to build it into something that I can enjoy, and I have a community, and I, need to work on it, and it's something that I am prioritizing over everything else. And the thing is I explained to them, I have built myself into a situation where my channel comes first. I'm working really hard on it. I want this to be something. I really do. And I said I will prioritize that. And the thing is you guys, like, I will start off by working really hard for you guys. I will work every day I can. And and that's, like, it was kind of this, like, promise that I made to the company that I'm working for currently, where I basically said, I want to build up the trust between us. Like, I want you guys to trust me. I want you guys to know my work ethic. And I want you guys to know how hard I can work and how much, detail and effort I can put into a satisfactory job and have you guys pleased with me. But once I can, like, the whole point, though, is that I want to build this trust so that you guys can trust me to work only 3 days, and I, basically those 3 days you guys get to keep me, you will see the best work you've ever seen. I will promise you guys that. And, like, I think I even remember saying I'll put my job on the line. Like, if you guys aren't satisfied with what I'm capable of doing, you guys can fire me, and that paid off, because I started the job by working constantly for them. I basically established myself as both care staff and as well as a cook. And I ended up prioritizing cooking over care staff because I found, as I had experience in both, cooking was something I was more passionate about than care staff work. Because care staff work is, I had learned that being care staff, like in, a nurse's care, what do they call that? Nurse's, I suddenly can't think of the name, but it's basically a nurse's assistant, essentially. And I ended up finding out that it requires a very specific kind of personality to do the very specific kind of work. A CNA, that's what it is, Certified Nurse's Assistant. I had discovered that it requires a specific kind of personality with a specific kind of mindset to do a specific kind of work. And I had to find out by doing the job that is not who I am, And that was important for me to learn. I was very grateful to acquire the skills and the job experience that entails. But as grateful as I was for that information, that experience, I also learned that was not the kind of person that I was. And I found that my true level of comfort and satisfaction and the highest quality of work that I can do is being a cook in a kitchen and managing a kitchen, which I can do very well. I've learned a lot of skills. I've not only learned how to be a better cook, but I've learned to work more efficiently. I've learned to communicate with people better, especially the people that I serve food to. And I've also learned how to manage a team in a kitchen. And those are the kind of skills that I genuinely enjoy doing. So that is the work that I have learned to prefer over being a care staff member, And I like it. I really do. And I feel like as though that over time I have come to work in less optimal conditions, but I still recognize that the job itself is not something that dissatisfies me. It's something that I genuinely enjoy and appreciate. And I will probably continue to work jobs for paying my bills, doing cooking, because that is legitimately something that I am passionate about. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, "Damn you, Habs, you're making me cry with your inspirational speech." Thank you. It's actually funny. I do this kind of talk with my coworkers constantly. Because, my coworkers, they have, issues with job security and the workload and, other kinds of work-related stress. And I usually, because a lot of those employees of mine are, my coworkers, they're part of my team. Like, now, mind you, I'm not management. I'm not management at my job. I'm not a boss. Like, I am kind of like when I come into the kitchen and the previous cook leaves, I'm basically the big boss in the kitchen. But that doesn't mean that I'm higher up than a manager. That doesn't mean that... because I have multiple managers. I have, 3 bosses. Technically 2 at the moment. But I'm not above them. But the thing is that I do also recognize that as a cook by himself in the kitchen... that has to manage about maybe 1 to 2 other people in order to get everything properly set up, I do need to keep them at a particular level of comfort. So sometimes talking with them about their workload and their stress and what's going on in the kitchen, as well as maybe what's outside of the kitchen but still within the workplace, it usually helps them out a lot. And so I'm used to kind of talking to them about these kinds of things. There's even a couple of people that I respect a lot more because they take what I have to say a lot more seriously, which is not something that I expect from people, because I do sometimes give advice that, people either choose to listen to or completely disregard. And I generally find that the people who choose to take my advice, they find themselves in a better condition after hearing it. However, I will also say, though, that people who don't take my advice usually find themselves in the same state they were previously, which is not good or bad. I'm not trying to say that what I have to explain to people or tell people about is going to, constantly make people's lives better. But I like to think that sharing my ideas and giving people something to kind of reflect on a little bit might help them think about their situation in a different perspective and give them the chance to maybe change some things that they're not quite satisfied with currently. So that's kind of how I feel about that. Maz says, tomorrow I move into my new place. Got a moving service to do all the heavy lifting and placing the stuff in my new house. So excited. I'm finally leaving this place, so not in a good area. I'm glad to hear that you are making the effort to take better care of yourself, your family, as well. I know about the situation your husband just got out of, or I should say your fiance, not your husband. I am aware that you guys went through a rough situation. A couple of babies are on the way, and you guys need to be in a better state of mind, better careers maybe, and definitely a better neighborhood. So, Maz, I wish you the biggest luck in the world. I think that when you put your mind to it, things are really going to work out for you. I'm dead serious. Like, as much as we love to make fun of you and hassle you and give you a bad time, Maz, you are a very strong lady, okay? I'm dead serious when I say that. The fact that you are in here hanging out with us guys who all like to bully each other and have fun and really rag on one another, the fact that you can find yourself as an equal among us says to me that you are a very strong lady. So don't lose faith in that, okay? You're a tough girl. You're going to get through everything just fine. I'm positive your family is beautiful. I'm sure your fiance is a strong, tough, smart guy. And I'm glad to hear that you guys are putting yourselves in a better position. So good luck to you, girl. I genuinely, really do mean that. You're a good person, Maz. So you keep doing you, girl. And just always remember that no matter how rough of a time we give you, me, definitely Lettuce. Lettuce loves to give you a terrible time, but I think at his core he likes you, Maz. So genuinely as a person. And I definitely do too. I think you're a tough girl. So we're always happy to have you in here, and no matter how bad of a time we give you, we think you're a good person. So just, stick around, you keep doing you, and take care of yourself, okay? Let's see. Cinder Shadow! What's up, Cinder Shadow? I also hope things are working out for you. I kind of miss you, buddy. I'm still trying. Like, I know that I've been quiet, but I promise you that I try my best to lurk in your streams. I'm almost always hanging out with you. Your late night streams, like usually when I come home from work, Perp is done. Like his streams actually end right about the time that I come home. But you usually have your late night streams, and I try to be there when I can. So you keep doing what you're doing, dude. Cinder Shadow says, I'm sitting at work waiting for the Thunder Boomers to stop. There you go. People are saying hi to Cinder. Dragon Slayer says, not meaning to unload on you in the chat, but I've lived most of my life wanting to give to others that I have never really learned to live for myself. You give me hope that I can change that. There's always time, Dragon Slayer. There is always time. One of the things that I love telling people, and the thing is I'm actually surprised by how many people either are surprised to hear it or downright ignore it. Like they say, like, oh, I can't be that way. Like I'm not allowed to be that way for so and so reason. And what the saying that I like to tell people is the number one person in your life, the single most important person in your entire life is you. Because nobody in your life can take care of you the same way that you can take care of yourself. And that's a fact. There's nobody who can do that better than you can do it. And the thing is that it's really surprising to me how many people don't understand that. And I mean, it's like, and the thing is that that's not a bad thing, because usually the inability to understand that about yourself comes from a good place. Like, legitimately. I always remember there was this girl that I used to work with who I had a very big crush on. I was very attracted to her. She was very, very cute. I definitely had a thing for her. And I remember she went through a really rough breakup, which was when I was really trying to lay on the moves on this girl. And but I was also trying to be her friend too, because I know people say that it's not a good thing to be friends with the people that you're attracted to, but I personally can't be attracted to somebody that I can't get along with. So despite people saying that, you know, you can't be friends with the people you're attracted to, I just always put that out the window. I mean, I like to be friends with everybody when I can, especially the people that I care about or the people that I'm attracted to. So this girl was going through a really rough time. She was going through a rough breakup, and she was also explaining how she was having a rough time with her parents and her family. And basically she explained, which I was really surprised about, that a lot of her money went towards taking care of her family. And it was sad. Like, she actually told me the story, and I never knew anything about it until I genuinely asked her about it, and she explained it to me that, like, it was much more important for her to take care of her parents and her brothers and sisters than it was to take care of herself. And I saw it in her health. She pulled all-nighters. She would pull, like, 12-hour shifts day after day. She survived off of energy drinks. She tried to eat healthy, but a lot of the time, because of the crazy amount of work that she was doing, she couldn't take care of herself as best as she ideally wanted to. And that also kind of translated into other things, too, like her relationships. Like, she told me about other people she dated and how she was constantly finding herself taking care of the people she dated. And it was sad to me. It was really sad. And it was funny too, because it also told me why me and that girl couldn't be together. I actually, over time, gave up on being attracted to her because I realized that she was constantly looking for people to take care of, and that was not the kind of lifestyle I lived. I like to take care of myself. I like people who are independent. And one of the most attractive features in women to me are independence and strength. Like, not physical strength, but like mental strength. You know, I like women who are strong and outgoing and want to live their lives the way that they want to live their lives. That's really attractive to me. And I'll never forget telling this girl, because she was telling me about how stressed she was with all the work she was doing, the multiple 12-hour shifts, the energy drinks, the constantly making money for her family. And I remember telling her, I was like, listen, like, I think that something you need to know is that the most important person in your life is you. And, like, the only person who can really, truly take care of yourself is you. You know, you like, you're focusing so hard on all the people around you, but you're completely disregarding yourself. You're ignoring yourself. And it's obviously dangerous. You know, you're putting yourself in an unhealthy mental capacity and an unhealthy physical capacity because you're so busy taking care of everybody except you that it is destroying you, you know? And I told her that, and I'll never forget her telling me that she couldn't afford to take care of herself in that way. She was like, all my money goes to my family. All my money goes to my brothers and sisters. You know, I need to keep doing this, and I don't have the time to pay attention to myself as the number one because I'm not number one in my eyes. She basically told me that her family was number one in her eyes, and that's all she could see and that's all she could understand. And it saddened me because that's a beautiful thing to have. But as beautiful as it was dangerous. It was literally destroying her from the inside out, you know? And, like, I definitely saw that as, like, it was kind of like a learning lesson for me in a way, which was, I learned that I don't ever want to do that. I love my family. I want to take care of them. I want to do everything I can to do the best for them. However, I come first in my life. Because in the end, the only person that I can truly control through and through, like the only person whose body I control, the only person whose thoughts I can control, the only person, like, that I have a overall control over is myself. I don't have control over my parents. I can't tell them what to do. I can't physically make them to do what I will them to do. You know, I have no control over anybody else. I only have control of me. And that's why I am the most important person in my life. Now, I can definitely give as much love and care for all those people around me, but I come first. And the only way that I'm going to be able to succeed and be truly happy at my core, and simultaneously making myself happy, is going to give me the capacity to make the people around me happy. But that's because I prioritize myself first. And that's the most important thing. And I really think that more people need to know that, and more people should learn from that. That you can't keep sacrificing yourself for the betterment of other people that you don't truly have any form of control over. It's good to care, it's good to love, but you have to love yourself first. Because, you know, if you don't feed yourself, you'll starve. If you don't drink water, you're gonna dehydrate and die. You know, like, you are genuinely the most important person in your life, you know? I'm going to catch up on chat a little bit, because I, once again, you guys know how I roll. I rant. I go on monologues. This is what I do. This is my thing. So Cinder Shadow says, I am tired. Oh my god, I am on a hiatus right now. Well, take care of yourself, Cinder. That's really important. Take good care of yourself. You are, like I just went through this whole spiel about, you're the most important person in your life. Take care of yourself. Maz says, thanks, Dragon and Hobbs. It's all good, girl. Maz, once again, this is the theme of today. You are the most important person in your life. Take care of yourself, and then take care of the people around you, and everything's going to be fine. Cinder Shadow says, I got no time to stream, 6 days working. Cinder Shadow, that's okay, man. Like, you make time for us when you are comfortable making time for us. Like the whole thing I'm saying. If money is really important to you and your family, you have to do it. Okay? You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your family. And then, like, it should be like this. Like, it's like a ranking system. There's you, who's number one. And then number two is your family. And then number three is whoever you hold dear after that. And then maybe you can say number four is your audience. You know what I'm saying? So you have to prioritize number one, and then number two, and then number three, and then number four. You know, so if the most important to you is money, take care of that. If the most important thing after that to number 2, which should be your family, is money, do that. And then you can worry about 3 and 4 afterwards, you know? Take care of those inner circles, you know what I'm saying? So don't worry about it, dude. Like, you can always come back to us. We're not going to forget you. You know, it's obvious that when you're doing what you're doing, you're passionate about it. Like, I mean, you know, and you have fans who can see that passion in you when you're doing what you're doing. So don't give up on that passion, but also take care of yourself and take care of your family. Maz says Habs drooling. Yes. Drooling. Yeah. I guess I can't force myself to drool at the moment. I mean, now my mustache and beard are all covered in spittle. Okay. Devlin Bowman says, yourself is also all you truly ever have. All else is fleeting and uncertain. Growth is self-dependent. There you go, Devlin. There you go. I think you've got the right message right there. Is, you know, that's like I said, the only person that you truly have complete control over is yourself. And therefore, knowing that information, that you only can truly control yourself, you should be the most important person in your life. Cinder Shadow says, I gotta go, have fun, take care of yourself, Cinder. I'm glad you stopped by. Lettuce says, good luck with the move, Maz. You don't speak for me, Maz. I mean, Hobbs. Okay, Lettuce, it's all good. It's all good, Lettuce. Maz is saying, see you to Cinder. People are saying goodbye to Cinder. And Devlin Bowman says, also, she has a legit point, though. Yeah, it's true. You know, like, I can definitely... I think you're talking about the girl that I was telling that story about. When she basically said that to me, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make a point to you that is appropriate for you, to put it lightly. Because, I mean, there are people that are like that, and I feel for them, you know? I don't, you know, like, I think that maybe, you know, prioritizing those people for her is what's truly doing right by her. But the thing is, too, is that I also recognized all the damage she was doing to herself in the process. So, I mean, I still feel for her. I have no idea what she's doing now. I literally haven't spoken to that person in over a year. So, I put her out of my mind until just now, but only because the information was relevant to what we're talking about. So... But it is intriguing to think about. But I mean, I think that, you know, following the path of your dreams is truly the ultimate endeavor for everybody. But the thing is, too, is that sometimes people don't realize that they're already on that path, you know? Like, when you're striving towards something, sometimes even just the tiniest achievements that might seem insignificant are still taking you down that path. Let's see. Yeah, Lettuce says, yeah, it's all good, but we're not in 4th grade. I don't need you telling girls I like them. Oh, all right, Lettuce. I'm sorry. You got it, buddy. You do you. Lettuce, you still have a good heart. I don't care what you say. Maz is laughing really hard. Well, glad you're enjoying it. I kind of keep going between really funny things and, you know, keeping it kind of talking about some serious subjects. So I kind of did want to move on a little bit, though. Yesterday, I kind of got interrupted with what I wanted to talk about at the end of the stream, which was we were having a conversation about anime and things like that, and I was beginning the process to talk about an anime, and then I got cut off. So I kind of wanted to get back into that, but also I wanted to, like, the thing is that when I talk about anime, I also like to talk about multiple different kinds of media, because I actually see them as being very similar. Like, especially, it's good that Maz is here, too, because she was saying that she doesn't like anime, but I would love to try to give her another perspective on it, which is, one of the things that I was talking about yesterday was anime is essentially the same thing as watching a television show, or watching a movie, or reading a book. They're all just trying to tell you a story for your enjoyment, you know? And the thing is that, there's plenty of really not good stories out there, but there are also a very large handful of stories that are great. And that's true for any medium of entertainment. So, like, I mean, hell, I wasn't even thinking about it, but I should probably include music in this, There's plenty of terrible music out there. But, sometimes you have to reach out and listen to something new to find new great music, And I think that that's true for anything. Like, what I was saying before was you have to watch a lot of bad anime to find the really good ones that you can truly enjoy and remember in the future. Lettuce says, yeah, for people I like and respect. Oh, okay, Lettuce. Well, I appreciate that, I appreciate that you have that form of care and respect for some people out there. So I understand. It's all good, dude. Devlin Bowman says, was just dropped by for tonight. I like this format, Habs. Keep up the good streams, and see you later, folks. Well, thank you so much for enjoying it, Devlin. I'm finding it that I like this, too. I wasn't sure what I was I wasn't sure what to expect when I did this yesterday. I was worried that that I was going to not have enough things to talk about. I was worried that I was going to have to rely on the chat log to come up with things to talk about, which, is relatively true. You guys are actually very good at helping me segue into other subjects, which I really like that. It's good having you guys around is my point. I love it. Yeah, I was definitely worried about, doing these casual streams where we just kind of talk, but now I don't regret it. Now I think that it's something that I actually want to do more. And, I mean, I'm having a good time, and I definitely have plenty to talk about. I was mentioning yesterday how sometimes I might, like, by myself, you guys might find this creepy, but I'm the kind of person who talks to himself out loud. I do. I really do. And it's actually funny, because I even remember somebody making a comment a while ago when I was playing Oblivion. And I was talking about, like, people were like, I can't remember what the comment was or who it was from, but basically somebody was asking me live on the chat log, like, like, could you imagine, like, Habanero, like, acting like this in front of his friends, like, playing a video game? And it's true, I do. Like, when you guys see me, acting the way that I do when I play a game, or, being the way that I am right now talking to you guys, this is how I act in real life, whether people are around me or not. Straight up. Like, even when I'm playing a game by myself, I kind of act silly by myself, because I'm having a good time, and I especially ramp it up when I'm with people, like, if I can play a game and put a smile on my friends' faces while they watch me play a game, or we're playing games together and we're just being silly and joking, and they smile and laugh and have their own jokes as well and being outrageous, like, I genuinely enjoy that, and I find that when those people are a part of that, they genuinely enjoy it too. So it's not like it's an act. This is just who I am as a person. I just feel like that I'm able to express it a lot more because I'm able to be on camera in front of a group of people who genuinely enjoy it. So it's not an act, it's just me expressing myself more the way that I want to be, definitely. Lettuce says, I love and care about you, Snookums, no homo. It's all good, Lettuce, I know. I feel lucky to have the people who come in here and genuinely care about what I have to say and what I do, and spending time with me. I really appreciate it. Like, for example, like, Lettuce even likes to do, he's been doing streams and he wants me to be a part of them, which is really cool, and I'm really happy that I get to do that. Now, it's kind of a secret operation that you guys are not necessarily seeing, other than, a couple of other people. But I enjoy it, and I like kind of having that time to hang out with Lettuce, and Dragon's Lair Gaming is a part of it as well, and he gets to be a part of it, and we have a great time. And I just like, spending time with people who care about me that I also care about. So, and I like to think that, even be the fact that we're online, like, even though I don't have you guys in front of me, I can still genuinely enjoy your company as people, even at this great distance across the internet. You know, like, it's kind of cool, and I genuinely enjoy being a part of it. Still salty about the lack of pasta and cheese, says Lettuce. Well, you know what? I might have to come back to doing cooking streams again. So, I currently, my workplace, as a thank you to basically my workplace was active during the pandemic that we are slowly starting to come out of. And we were taking care of elderly. We had to go into quarantine. We all worked our butts off to do that. And we have actually been getting basically a lot of thanks from multiple different businesses, because there's a lot of businesses out there who have been trying to show their appreciation by donating to various different medical causes. And the facility that I work for has been a part of that. And so they have been very kindly and appreciatively donating food to the employees who, worked during the outbreak and during the quarantine. And so I have also found myself among that collection. And so I have been getting, like, more food in my house than I have ever had in my entire life. Like, dead serious. I've been getting so much food lately, and I've been finding it actually a struggle to get through all the food that I have stocked up over because of these very kind donations from these various different businesses to the company that I work for. And so I've been wanting to try and maybe figure out some new recipes to try out, specifically using the ingredients that I've been acquiring through these donations. So I've definitely had to depend on my own flavors and spices, but that's not so bad either, because with the moving of my parents, I have acquired basically their entire spice rack and all of their cooking ingredients. So my kitchen looks fantastic. So I want to try to reestablish cooking streams. The hardest part for me is knowing where to start. I do realize that I have the level of cooking creativity to be able to do whatever I want. I even did a really interesting experiment last week in the kitchen I work at. That made me realize that I'm probably a lot more capable with cooking in my own kitchen for a stream than I originally suspected myself to be. Basically, if you guys are curious, I had a resident, because I cook in a kitchen for elderly, assisted living, and some of them there's a few residents who are extremely grateful for my cooking. They're very appreciative, and they go way out of their way to let me know. Like, sometimes I have a few residents at the place I work at who actually make an effort to come and visit me after they have eaten their food and tell me how great the food was. And last week, there was one particular elderly resident who has many, many times expressed to me that she loves my cooking. And there was one night where she basically had the same food, unintentionally, like, it wasn't her fault, it just happened to be that way. She basically had the same meal 3 nights in a row. And she basically was tired of it. And she basically came and said, she found out that I was cooking that night. And she came in and she basically expressed to the person who was taking her food order, I want something new that I've never had before, but I don't know specifically what I want. But because this guy's cooking, I will leave it up to him, and I will trust him to make me something that I've never had before that's delicious. And that actually excited me. I was really happy. Because it gave me a opportunity that I rarely ever have in my workplace, which is somebody who is willing to try anything that I create and trusting me to make something delicious, and they don't care what it is. So that means I got to be totally creative and make something completely unique that I'd never done before. And that's what I did. I made basically a sweet and spicy Thai cod fish loin. And it was basically like Thai spice. I basically mixed some spices together and made a basically sweet and spicy Thai and flavoring, which basically what I did was I took the fish, I lathered it in oil, and then I basically rolled it around in the spices I created, which was ground mustard, turmeric, sugar, and salt. And which sounds kind of weird, but it actually gets a good balance of all those flavors together. And I coated the fish in oil and then rubbed it in the spices until it had like a fine orange coating. And then I put a little bit of rosemary on the top, and then I baked it. And I got you, girl. There you go. Oh, okay, thank you, whoever did that. It was probably Lettuce, my bad. Thanks, Lettuce, I appreciate the work you do, buddy. Anyways, I baked it in those spices, and then what I did was I then pulled out a saucepan, and I boiled down some balsamic vinegar into a, what's it called, a balsamic reduction, and I added a little bit of sugar just to lighten the flavor a little bit so it wasn't too sour. And then I poured that over the fish when it was done baking. Kept the balsamic reduction hot until I was ready to pour it over the fish. Set aside some apple slices, put a little garnish on it, added some spiced vegetables, which involved thyme, sage, I think a little bit of basil, and some salt and pepper. And yeah, and that was the full dish. And with a little couple of wedges of lemon on the side. And it was something totally unique I'd never made before. Made it special just for her. And I even came out, like, which is really rare. The cook normally doesn't come out and serve people, except if we're in trouble, you know? Like, sometimes if we're lacking on bodies to serve people, the cook will come out and serve people individually. But I wanted it to be special, so when dinner time came around, I went out to her table, and I unveiled the dish for her, and then told her what each portion was, and let her have at it. And after dinner, she basically came to me, and she was like, that was one of the best things I've ever had in this entire place. And she was like, it was very unique. I'd never tasted anything like it. There was no problems with it at all. The fish was cooked perfectly. And she loved how it was like just a little bit of spice with some sweet and some sour and a lot of savory to it. And it just came out really cool. And the whole point of the story about talking about it, besides the fact that I got to share a really interesting recipe with you guys that I kind of invented on the spot, was having done that gave me faith in my ability to cook something totally new and unique, and present it to somebody who has never tried anything like it before. And that gave me faith in being able to do that maybe more for you guys. So I know it sucks because you guys won't be able to eat the food that I make, but you're always free to try the recipes and make it for yourself. But the main point was that it gave me faith in my ability to cook with things that I've never tried before. So I want to bring more cooking to the channel. Another part of that, though, too, is that streaming and cooking simultaneously is kind of an ordeal. I have to have it all planned out before it happens. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when I did the breakfast stream that was celebrating my birthday. I was up 4 hours ahead of time, just like 3 to 4 hours ahead of time before I started that stream, just to have everything prepared for it. you know? So that's a serious mental and physical preparation that I have to do. So I will try to bring more cooking streams to the channel. It's just going to require more effort, and I have to be a little more up to speed with it, if you know what I'm saying. Looks like Maz and Lettuce are going at it. I've missed some of the conversation, but Maz is making commentary about Lettuce's babies. Lettuce says, the first rule of Jack Club is you don't talk about Jack Club. Okay. You guys are too funny. It's adorable when you guys are arguing between each other. It's totally cute. Or just regularly conversing, that's fine too. First things they don't mind are a perky and firm mid-sea, and secondly, paddling doesn't count. Oh my god. Oh, Maz. Oh. Missing Cinnamon says Lettuce. Yeah, I never claimed. Oh, it's okay, Lettuce. You're a big, sexy man. There's just a lot of lettuce that you gotta handle, and it's all precious. See, Sam Dunn says, ooh, I've got me interested in cooking now. Well, there you go, Sam Dunn. Yeah, it's, I love cooking. I really do. It's a lot of fun. And the thing is with cooking, too, is don't be afraid to experiment with, like, new flavors and things like that. You just gotta kind of try everything to the best of your ability. And, you know, sometimes you're not going to be able to succeed with everything you cook, but it is important to, like, learn from your mistakes. Like, here's something kind of interesting. When I started working at my job as a cook currently, I had to teach myself how to cook pork chops properly. And I even remember going into Mike Hatcher's streams and talking with people about cooking specifically pork chops. Because at my job, I actually had to screw up pork chops 3 times. It's true. And it sucked because I didn't want to serve that kind of quality of food to the people that I was serving. But I ended up making those pork chops work anyways. The thing is that they weren't cooked ideally, but I was able to flavor them and, you know, change up how they were presented on the plate to kind of work out the mistakes I made. But the thing is that eventually I figured out, after learning from the mistakes that I did the previous 3 times, I was able to learn how to cook a pork chop perfectly. And that was a great moment for me, because then when I was able to cook those pork chops perfectly and serve them to everybody, they loved them. They were like the best pork chops they'd ever had. And, well, that's what a couple of people said that to me. So, but the thing is that you're never going to be able to learn how to do things like that unless you're comfortable with making mistakes. And the thing is that you should be comfortable with making mistakes, but the most important thing is you must always learn from your mistakes. Because if you always just make the same mistakes over and over again, you're never going to be able to improve. So always be comfortable with trying new things, especially when you're with cooking. Another thing, too, is to learn different flavors, try different things, and learn, like, smells and tastes, and kind of, like, learn how certain smells and certain tastes kind of go together. So, like, for example, like, you know, people have caught me doing this in the kitchen multiple different times, is I'll open up, like, a spice, and then I'll smell it, and then I'll grab another spice and then crack that open and smell it. And then just by sniffing the 2 spices, I can tell whether or not the flavors go together or not. So sometimes also, like, trying to, you know, smell those things will help you, because your smell and your taste are directly connected. They're essentially the same thing. So if a scent of 2 different spices can co-mingle together correctly, that means they're also going to taste really well together, usually. Unless you have a really skewed sense of flavor. I don't know. Could be different for multiple different people. But cooking is a lot of fun. It really is. I absolutely love cooking. I've kind of decided that it is my favorite way to pay my bills, because I can genuinely enjoy the process of cooking. I've definitely tried a range of other jobs for paying my bills, but cooking is the one where I feel like I can enjoy it while I do it. Lettuce says, I'm a bitter 40-year-old, high-functioning alcoholic. I have deep concerns for anyone who finds me attractive. Lettuce, you have what I like to call an attractive personality, and that's actually what I care about. It's funny because I mentioned earlier how people say that you shouldn't be friends with the people you're attracted to. Or I guess maybe it's more common to say that you should find a mate and then become friends with them once they are your mate, I guess. But the thing is that I can't be attracted to people that are... So here's the thing. I find stupidity and just overall a bad personality extremely unattractive. So the thing is that, like, I have dated my fair share of ladies who, in the past, obviously, who were not exactly the most attractive women of all time, but I liked them because I thought they were interesting people. Now, obviously, over time, you know, I'm not dating those people anymore, and I had to learn over time that, you know, our personalities didn't go well together, or whatever, you know? And I've definitely been through my fair share of relationship-based hardships. But the thing is that I do genuinely find that intelligence and personality are the two most attractive features, in my opinion. So, and the thing is that I can't find that in people unless I'm friendly with people. So I have to be able to get to know people in order to find them attractive, because... I mean, I've met my fair share of women that are drop-dead gorgeous, but they're disgusting people on the inside. And, you know, so... I can't say... Like, I mean, I have a couple of people that there's a couple of people that I find very attractive, but I also find them intriguing as people in general. And the thing is, though, is that if they weren't interesting to me as a person, then I don't care how attractive they are. That's just me. That's how I function. I'm sorry. Like, I totally get the whole thing of, like, oh, the natural male reaction is to, you know, see a woman with large breasts and a big, beautiful butt, and you are immediately swept off your feet. And I get that. But that doesn't click the same way in my brain. And growing up, that was very difficult for me. Because, I'll be honest, people, even to this day, people think I'm weird because of that. And I've come to terms with the fact that people... Because people are like, nah, you're lying. Like, if, like, you know, if a gorgeous girl came up to you and just wanted to, like, throw themselves at you, you would totally go for it. And actually, I have stories to the contrary. Like, I'm not kissing and telling here. I refuse to do that. I do have genuine stories in my life where I have turned down 3 different gorgeous women that I thought were gorgeous, and I guess people around me thought they were gorgeous. I've turned down 3 different gorgeous women in my lifetime who literally threw themselves at me. And there was there were a lot of reasons why I turned them down. But when it came down to it, it was a combination of not liking their personalities or being uncomfortable with the terms that they had presented to me. And I basically had to sit down with myself and tell myself that the sexual gratification of what they presented to me was not worth handling a person that I found to be unattractive based on how they thought or what their personality was. And that was 100% me being true to myself. Like, I curbed my sexual urges because of those feelings that I had. So, and people think I'm ridiculous for it. I've actually caught plenty of flack from friends and other people when I've talked about it. But there are also a very large handful of people that I've told those stories to, people that I deeply trust, who actually thought that I was actually a more powerful person for being able to do that. So I don't regret it. I just try to be true to myself, you know? So I find personalities very attractive. And so when I say something like, in my opinion, like the most attractive feature about Lettuce is he's got a good heart and he's got a good personality. And he tries to hide it. Like, I see it. He tries to hide it, but you can't fool me, Lettuce. I know you're a good person. You can't trick me, dude. Like, you can't even trick Mike Hatcher, for God's sake. Even he knows you're a good person. I mean, come on. So, you know, that's the thing, is, like, I genuinely prefer being around people who have good personalities and who are intelligent. That's just the kind of person I am, and I can't help it. Because I like to identify with the people around that I surround myself with. And the people that I like to surround myself with and identify with are people who are usually as intelligent as I am or have a good personality or so forth, you know? It's kind of like the saying of like minds think alike, you know? Like, or great minds think alike is what the saying is, you know? Not trying to promote myself as this hyper-intelligent person. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to say that I like to do my best to surround myself with people that I can comfortably identify with, you know? So let me catch back up. So Maz was saying, Lettuce has a point. Lettuce responds with, I usually do. It's a blessing and a curse. I remember teaching you about pork chops. That's right! You were one of the people who was... were you one of the guys who sent me the video that showed me how to cook pork chops? Because I received 2 videos from 2 different people when I was chatting about pork chops. And I can't remember off the top of my head who they were, but I remember being very grateful because the videos that they linked me to genuinely, they taught me how to cook pork chops correctly. So if you were one of those people, thank you so much. That was for work, asks Lettuce. Yes, it was. It was because I had failed to cook pork chops 3 times in a row. And I didn't want to do it again. Because pork chops were something that we had to regularly cook. And I'd failed 3 times in a row, and I wanted to make the most spectacular pork chops I could possibly muster. And the 4th time that I did it, I knocked it out of the park, which felt amazing. Lettuce says, wow, your kitchen let you make things. How many people are in your home? We have around, I think, 35 residents that live in the building. And I cook for not all of them. I would say that out of the 35, I serve maybe about between 30 and 33 of them. Because some of them don't eat meals normally. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Some of them have to get their nutrition through supplements. Some of them have to get their nutrition through irregular meal schedules. So I don't necessarily serve all of them, but I serve between around, I'd say 30 to 33 people every day. And my previous job, I was actually serving 60 people every day. But those meals were a lot less complicated than what I have to do now. And even the meals I do now are not that complicated. I only get complicated with them when I feel that I have the time and experience to do so, which happens every once in a while. Like, sometimes I will let my cook know that I'm going to do something creative or different or whatever, and I let them know, you know, what I need to have at my disposal in order to get more creative than normal. And usually, they're comfortable with that, especially my manager. The manager that I work with for the kitchen, she's a wonderful cook, wonderful person at heart. She works very hard, she tries her best constantly. And she always wants to do right by the residents, but also do right by her employees, you know? So whenever I tell her that I want specific things there are particular limitations, but usually when I tell her that I need specific ingredients or certain kinds of tools, she usually tries to go out of her way to acquire those things to allow me to cook better, which I really like. I love it when I have a employer or a manager who trusts me so thoroughly that they're willing to go out of their way to buy, tools and food that they otherwise wouldn't normally have access to, just so I can experiment and try new things. Lettuce says, our kitchen has had to use pre-cooked food because there was just too many people. That happens, Lettuce. That does happen. We do actually have to prepare pre-cooked food very frequently. But what I try to do is I try to add an edge to it, especially if it's really simple. Because what happens is sometimes the pre-cooked foods don't take that much effort to cook in the amount of time that I'm allotted. So usually when I have a meal that's very simple, I'll spice it up or make it nicer just because I have the time to do it. Because if I have an opportunity, because I have an allotted amount of time where I get to cook and prepare food for people. And it's like, if I have this much time to prepare something for somebody, but I can get the basic meal done in this amount of time, then I'm going to use the rest of the time to make it nicer, to give them a better experience, to allow them to enjoy the food to the best of its qualities. And sometimes that's as simple as adding a few extra flavors, or an extra garnish, or a sauce that wasn't originally part of the meal in the first place, So like we used to make all our tartar sauce from scratch. And I actually learned how to make tartar sauce at the job that I have currently. And then what happened was we started noticing that the tartar sauce we were making takes up too much time, and we can actually buy a pre-made tartar sauce that's cheaper, and also saves us a lot of time, and also the residents usually enjoy it. But I've also found that sometimes I can change the flavor of the tartar sauce that I make from scratch to make it just have an overall flavor or present a flavor better than the tartar sauce that we buy from the supplier. So, like, I've definitely had a couple times where, they're like, well, just to let you know, we have the pre-made tartar sauce that you can use for your meal. And I was like, well, you know what? I know that this meal's not too complicated. I'll make a tartar sauce from scratch, and just to have it be a little more flavorful than what we would otherwise buy. And sometimes the residents can actually tell the difference, So it's like, if I have that time to be able to make something just a little bit better for them, then I want to do that. Like, if I'm crunching on time, then I'm sorry, I might, not be able to present the meal in the best possible way every time. But if I do have that extra time, I do want to go to that extra effort to make something better for them. Lettuce says, we had 3 dietary profiles and we prepped for that. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Usually we have like 2 meal choices, and the residents can choose between the 2 meals. It's very rare that we only do one choice, but sometimes the one choice that we do is usually something that the residents so heavily enjoy as a collective that none of them are going to refuse it, even if they're not huge fans of it, but they will enjoy it for what it is. So it's very rare that we will do one meal specifically, and then versus doing 2 different meals, which is the normal. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, Habs, my father always told me never marry a lover, for love is fleeting. Marry a friend because friendship lasts forever. There you go, Dragon Slayer Gaming. That's a great way to put it. I have 3 actually. I have 3 very solid best friends that I would never give up for anything, ever. They treat me wonderfully. They genuinely love me at their core, and I genuinely love them at my core as well. We care very deeply for each other. And, like, the friendship and bond that I have between those 3 people, I would not give them up for anything, ever. Like, nothing, And that's really important. And, that's also what I seek in a partner, is I want to fall in love with a person who I fell in love with as a friend first, and that's genuinely what I care about. Maz says, Dragon, that's not always the case. I perma-friend zoned so many. That's your prerogative, Maz, like, I mean, the thing is, though, is that, like, I like to think that there is a very solid difference between being friend zoned, like having a friend that you could never have intimate feelings with, versus having a friendship that you care so deeply about that you can genuinely say you're in love with that person. So, I have genuinely felt the love and passion for other men. Does this make me gay? No. I find myself attracted to women. But the thing is that there have been men in my life that were friends that I cared so deeply about that I felt a passionate love for them. I really did. Now, they were straight and I was straight, and we weren't sexual, because that's never what it came to. We weren't passionate about sexuality between each other. We were passionate about how much we cared about one another. So when people ask me, have I ever been in love with another man? Yeah, absolutely. There are a couple different men that I genuinely felt like I was in love with, passionate about. But that never led to any form of sexuality. So in my opinion, if you are comfortable and capable of friend zoning somebody, you will never ever truly feel a passionate friendship for that person. It's kind of like the idea of like the difference between having a collection of friends and having 1, 2, or 3 best friends and that's it. Like the people that I am best friends with, I have a very tight and close bond with those people. They're very important to me. And I can comfortably say that I'm in love with those people. That doesn't mean that there's any kind of sexual bond between us. We just genuinely 100% care about each other. That's legitimately what it is. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. Like, here, think about it this way. Here's another perspective. Okay? You love your family. Okay? You love your sister. You love your brother. You love your father. You love your mother. Now, unless you're an unhealthy individual, you shouldn't have sexual feelings for those people. But you can truly say that you are genuinely and passionately in love with those people. They are your family. You adore them. You love them. You're passionate about them. That's just how it is. So, I mean, you can't friend zone a family member, Like, there's passion there. And that is genuinely feeling love for another person. And that's the difference between having somebody who you can comfortably friend zone versus being genuinely in love with somebody but not being attracted to that person. It's a very distinct kind of thing. And I take it very seriously because, I feel like you guys have probably learned at this point, I haven't been in a intimate relationship in quite some time. However, I have very loving and passionate relationships with the people that I am closest to. And I am legitimately satisfied by that. That is 100% true. I mean, would I like a lover in my life? Sure. Do I absolutely need it to survive? No. Nope, I don't. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, I have to catch up on chat because I just now realized that Wrath of Wood came in. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Let me kind of go up a little bit. I definitely fell behind. Let's see here. Can I scroll through this properly? No, I can't. I can't scroll through it the way that I want to scroll through it. So I'll just kind of try and keep up with what I can see. So, sorry if I missed some important lines, but what I see is Mr. Wrath of Wood, who's saying, hello, I am unfashionably late. Don't worry, buddy. You're always cool in here, so it's all good, Wrath of Wood. Glad to have you in here, buddy. We're just kind of chatting about whatever. Talking about cooking, talking about relationships, talking about... I did want to talk about anime, but apparently I'm not doing that today. Apparently I have much more important subjects to talk about today. So, Maz says, that's detention, Wrath of Wood. How dare you, Wrath of Wood? Gah! That's okay, buddy. I'm not hurt. I appreciate you being here at all, so thank you for being here, Home Slice. Lettuce says, DLG, my father told me that okay is wild and it doesn't make no child, so daddy drink. Alright, good to know, Lettuce. I always appreciate your input, Mr. Lettuce. You're a wonderful dude. No choice, you got what the dietitian determined you get. Yeah, I could see that, Lettuce. That's another thing, is because this was very particular at my previous workplace, which was, as long as the residents are getting their nutritional value, doesn't matter how high quality the food is. Now, I understood that, and I was able to follow it, but I still always made an effort to give something that the residents could enjoy. So, yeah, if I can at least give them all the nutritional value that they need, that's great. That's legitimately great. But if I can give them something that has that nutritional value but is also delicious, that's even better. That's what I ideally want to do. Lettuce says, normal meal, Beatus meal, soft foods meal. Yeah, like, I assume you probably had to work at some point doing, like, regular, mechanical soft, and then puree and stuff like that. I saw that a lot at my previous job. Not so much this one. A lot of the residents at my current job are primarily regular food capable. None of them need puree. Some of them have to have their food chopped up into little pieces, but they're still pretty good with handling that, and that's really not that bad. Rathwood says, my dad always said, always wear a rubber. The worst thing is kids. Yeah. It's actually funny. My sister, of all people, that nice little lady who was in here earlier, she always used to joke around and tell me that if you're not careful, you can get the worst STD in the planet, which is children. And the thing is that it's an STD that lasts for 18 years. So there you go. There you have it. She's just joking. It's just a joke. My sister does not actually hate children. My sister is actually very good with children. But we are people, my sister and I, are people who like to live free lives. My sister and I are free spirits, essentially. We're people who like to be let go and set free, and we like to live our lives the way that we want to live our lives, and we don't like to be controlled. And my sister is an absolute inspiration to that kind of lifestyle. My sister is actually one of my heroes, you guys. Dead serious. She's probably been one of the most major influences on me doing things the way that I do throughout my life. And she's been my hero for as long as I can remember, and an inspiration to me. And she does great for herself, and she's genuinely a wonderful person. So, I hold her very I hold my sister above everybody else. Like, I'll say it right here. My sister, I'll go ahead and admit, because I know my sister might possibly be watching this in the backlog. And she knows, she's a smart, amazing person. So she already understands this, but I'm not always the best at communicating with my sister, and we're not always constantly in touch. But I adore my sister with every fiber of my body. She is one of the single most important people in my entire life. And I care for her very dearly, and I take everything she says very seriously. I don't always follow everything that she says, but I take everything she says very seriously, and I always, any form of advice she gives me, I always consider it in my path of thought whenever I'm trying to make a decision. And that, I feel like, should say a lot about her. Let's see. Lettuce says, I married a woman to rescue her from overbearing family that lasted 11 years. Yeah, see, here's the thing, Lettuce. Don't rescue people. I know this sounds harsh, but the thing that I've learned is that people have to be able to take care of themselves and live their own lives. And it's kind of like what I was saying, where it's like, I have to live for myself and live to be happy on my own. Because the only way I can find happiness with another person is if I can be happy with myself and the person that I'm with can be happy with themselves. And then the happiness that we have within ourselves, we share with each other, you know? And that's kind of how I see that overall, is that you have to love yourself and find another person who loves themselves, and then the love that you have for yourself you share with one another. And that's what I think is the overall best way to handle it. Now, that's coming from a guy who's been single for a long time. So, you know, take that advice for whatever you will. It's okay if you completely disregard it, because I can totally understand why. But, you know, it's just something to consider and think about. Lettuce says, I'm in love with Perp, and then Wrath of Woods says Perp is love. Yeah, me too. I love my catcher. He's a wonderful guy. In fact, I think you guys probably know, if I had never met my catcher, I would probably not have this channel right now, like in the way that I have it. I've had this channel for a long time, but I've never really made much content on it. And if it wasn't for my catcher's incredibly inspirational words and the overall impact that he's had on my life, I might not be sitting here in front of you guys talking about this stuff. So I definitely really do care about my catcher. He's a wonderful guy, and I like to consider him that he is a close friend of mine. I'm also okay with if he doesn't consider me that way, but I treat him as though he is a friend of mine. So I think he's a great dude. Lettuce says, Maz says, Perp dominates Lettuce, he the top. Yeah, there you go. Lettuce says, I'm fine with being Mike's bottom. There you go. That's hot. That's hot. That's pretty sexy. Gonna be legitimate here. That's hot. Oh, man, you guys are awesome. No anime for you, you weeb! Yeah, I didn't even get to talk about anime too much. The main thing I wanted to bring up was for anime, because I'm going to go ahead and be a weeb, look at this! This is just like last time. I bring it up in the last couple of minutes before I have to shut down. So, watch Re:Zero. I was talking about Re:Zero, the anime. Watch that show. It's like one of the best animes I've ever seen in my entire life. Watch it. Dragon's Lair Gaming, if you're trying to watch anime, because we were talking about school days yesterday, if you're trying to watch anime, go watch Re:Zero. Re:Zero. Go watch Re:Zero. It's like one of my new favorite animes of all time. So that's all I'm going to say about that. There's my weeb talk. Your boy Lettuce says, I was a CNA for a shithole nursing home. Sadly, there are a lot of those. Lettuce says, that was a bad pregnant pause talking about you and your sister. Be glad you're not from Kentucky. Oh, shut up. Let's see. That's the thing, though, is that, like, my sister married a wonderful guy, and I care about him, too. He's my brother-in-law is also, like, I don't feel the same love for him as my sister, but then again, I don't really feel the same love for anybody the way that I do feel about my sister. So, but I do actually genuinely care about my brother-in-law because he is also another wonderful person who does wonderful things. In fact, he built me this computer that you guys are seeing me on right now. So, he's a great-hearted guy, and honestly, I even remember when, first of all, I remember when my sister first started seeing him, and I got to meet him for the first time, and I remember telling myself, this is a good guy. Like, he's a really great guy, and he cares about my sister, and he does the right thing for my sister, and he does, he's just good. And he works really hard, and he's passionate about what he does. He's passionate about my sister. Like, I like him, And I got to know him over quite a long time before they finally got married. And I remember that when they told me that they got married, I remember thinking to myself, you know, I'm okay with this. Like, he's a great guy, and they deserve each other, legitimately, 100%. He's a great dude. So my sister is a wonderful woman. My brother-in-law is a wonderful man, and they totally 100% deserve each other, and I care about them both very much so. Let's see. Or your boy Lettuce says, or that I respect you because the chat log would have been one really wrong incest joke. Oh, shut up. Shut up, Lettuce. Shut your face. Lettuce says, yeah, in hindsight being 2020, but I got my son from that relationship, so scored. There you go, man. See, you know, there's... Even with things that seem like they're not the greatest, sometimes they work out for the better. Sometimes you have to really experience a terrible struggle to truly, truly reap the benefits of what that struggle was for. And that's a great example of it, you know? Like, it might have been this major struggle, but you got something wonderful and beautiful out of it that you care very deeply about. And that's important, man. So don't ever let go of that. That's a big deal. Dragon's Lair Gaming says 5 hours and 5 minutes until it's over, and this is going to end in just a moment. Ratherwood says, I'm only going to have a kid with my dream girl. There you go, Ratherwood. You got to do it. Ray Zero, so it's the pronunciation is RE:0. RE:0. So I'll actually, you know what? If you guys hop on the Discord, I'll post a link to the very specific anime I'm talking to if you find it hard to find. So other than that, I'm going to wrap this up properly. We're already a minute over time. So I see the other messages coming in very quick, but I do have to say goodbye, guys. It was wonderful talking with you guys. This was really cool. I feel like I got to talk with you guys about some deeper subjects, even though it was totally unintentional. And I really enjoyed having that with you guys, so thank you so much for all being here. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. We're trying to build up that the audience, and I love having every single one of you guys in here that comes in and watches what I have to say or play or whatever. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you guys can know when I'm going to be doing more streams like this or video game streams or whatever. And also, if you guys enjoyed what I had to say, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, because it really helps out, kind of distributes my material to more people, and that's, you know, that's really what I kind of want, is more people to hear about me and enjoy what I have to do, you know, like minds and all that, what we were talking about before. So please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you can. And go ahead and check in the description below for various different links. There's PayPal, Patreon, art stuff, there's a fan mail address, all that good stuff, so definitely check it out, guys. And as I wanted to say yesterday, but I didn't get the chance to, and I'm going to say it very clearly because it was a major subject today in today's stream. Follow your dreams, guys. Don't ever give up on them. Follow the path and live your dream, okay? I'll see you guys all later. We'll do something again in the near future, okay? I'll see you guys probably 3 or 4 days, something like that. All right. Take it easy, guys. Thank you for being here. Bye. Bye, guys. It was a lot of fun. I love this stream.